I think I've got some good news. This really is a process. It really is a process. God's why becomes our why. That is a process. No matter where you are, if you're stuck, I think this is good news. Colossians 2, 6 through 7. This is Paul speaking. So then, just as you received Christ Jesus as Lord, how did you receive Him? By faith. Continue to live. Continue is a process. Live is a process. Continue to live your lives in Him, rooted. Imagine a grapevine. It is rooted and it is continuing to grow down. It will continue to grow down. And built up in Him. Built up. Imagine the part that you can see. Built up. Strengthened is a process. Built up is a process. Rooted is a process. Strengthened in the faith as you were taught. I don't know about you, but learning is a process. And overflowing with thankfulness. One of the things I've learned, that is a process, to learn to be thankful because He is good. It doesn't matter what we look at and we think about processes, and we think about the different things that Jesus talked about in the Bible. Gardens, that's a process of becoming fruitful. Fruit trees, that's a process of becoming fruitful. Vines and vineyards, that's a process of becoming fruitful. That happens when we get past making our reason for coming to Him being our why, instead of becoming to God's why. I think the thing that just got me over to that point of seeing that it's not all about me is when I had the revelation that, there's somebody else. It's really also about we. I think we do miss that in our walk oftentimes. I like to use the following as an example of something that just really broke me out of, there's so much more here. And it's Acts 9. Saul, before he became Paul, meeting Christ on the road to Damascus. So meanwhile, Saul was still breathing out murderous threats against the Lord's disciples. Stop right there. Who was he actually after? The Lord's disciples. He went to the high priest, asked him for letters to the synagogues in Damascus, so that if he found any there who belonged to the way, followers, whether men or women, he might take them as prisoners to Jerusalem. That's not to make them a banquet, that was to persecute them and possibly kill them. As he neared Damascus on his journey, suddenly a light from heaven flashed around him. He fell to the ground and he heard a voice say to him, Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me? Why do you persecute me? Well, who are you, Lord? Saul asked. I am Jesus whom you're persecuting. He replied, now get up, go to the city, and you will be told what you must do. When we look at this, the whole idea behind this is, who was he persecuting? Jesus. But who was Paul thinking he was persecuting? The Christians. So whenever we look at this, whenever you are persecuted, if you're a follower of Christ, and I am persecuted, actually what's happening is Christ is getting persecuted because we are His body. This one strikes home because it makes me see what I do to a fellow believer, I'm actually doing to Christ. I'm actually doing to Christ. This is not all about me. And that is one of the things that rocked me out of my reason for coming to Him. I saw was really becoming His why.